Okay, gang. So, welcome to the Stock Pick Profits live market update. It is January 17th, 2019. One day away from the 3-day weekend. So, before we get started, let's go ahead and do the legalities. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. We're not registered investment advisors. Nothing in this show should be taken as an offer to buy or sell any security. Always consult a professional before making any investment decisions. All right. That's very important. And read the rest of the disclaimer. It's right there in the description. So it was an interesting day in the stock markets, right? The Dow closed up about 162 points. The S&P closed up about 20 points. The NASDAQ almost just missed 50. And the Russell, another green day on the Russell, right? The VIX still trickling down there, down about $1. Just barely holding on to that 18 level. So it's still on that nice trickle down from when we started this little bounce off that bottom from that epic Christmas Eve. So let's kind of get into the news of the market. Markets were pretty much flat, a little bit red most of the day until a little news came out about the trade situation. It looks like the U.S. might kind of back off on some of these tariffs while they're finalizing this deal with China, which would be real nice. I mean, let's throw out an olive branch there. Everybody's negotiating. Let's keep it in good faith and let's get a deal done here. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of news. It was just the usual back and forth. You'll notice it in our flashcard that for this show, we put it in there, cancel all vacations. Well, it started earlier in the week, right, with Nancy Pelosi wanting Trump to stop his SCOTUS speech, and now he's gone and canceled her trip to Afghanistan. So the kids are fighting, Mom. Kids are fighting. Other than that, there just wasn't a whole lot of news that was real detrimental. Jack Bogle passed away yesterday. Rest his soul. He was the one that he started Vanguard funds, and he also taught index investing. Right, he was the pioneer for index investing, and he helped a lot of small people make a lot of money. He was one of the ones that opened that door. He's one of the first ones to open that door to the small investor. So sorry to hear about that. Walmart, there was some news on Walmart's side. They're going to give up the video streaming and they're going to stick with the Voodoo instead of launching their own streaming service. Look, that streaming service area is just too crowded right now. Everybody and their brother has a streaming service now, and it's all the latest greatest Netflix, right? Speaking of streaming services, we had our first FAANG report today, and it was a mixed earnings. Netflix, they reported a few minutes ago. Now, I haven't had a chance to go look at the report myself, so I'm kind of just going by information that's on CNBC. They're calling it a mixed fourth quarter earnings report. Just real briefly going through here. Looks like they hit on EPS, missed a little bit on revenue, hit on subscribers, both ends, domestic and international. So the stock's down about $10 right now after hours, but it's kind of been bouncing around. It's down about 1160 right now. It's kind of been bouncing around. Let's see how the call goes. Let's see how the guidance goes, and let's see what they lay out for going forward. We know with Netflix that this was going to be the year that they put all that money into their specialty programming, right? Their exclusive programming. So we know it was going to be a cost-heavy year. The revenue came in a little light, but right now we know why they announced the price increase yesterday, because now investors can put two and two together, right, and say, ooh, revenue is a little light, but we raised prices, we grew subscribers. Revenue won't be light next quarter. And we'll see how people digest that. And like I said, we'll kind of catch the earnings call and stuff like that and digest it ourselves. And we'll get back to you with it on the tomorrow, a little bit more of a report. We played Netflix today. We played a little small play in Netflix today for earnings. We bought some calls. We bought them a little bit out of the money expiring tomorrow. They were up about 20% at the close, and we debated whether to just take the money or ride the earnings report, and we decided to ride the earnings report. Look, it's just a real small trade, just a few bucks here, just to have some fun, roll the dice at the table, right? Get involved a little bit. We're up about 280% on that Citigroup trade, but we're sitting on those options that are expiring tomorrow. Basically, what we've done is we went into this strategy where if we could, on this V bottom, like up until now, that's been a V bottom from the market since New Year, Christmas Eve. And so we kind of played it like that. And in between of trying to work out these old plays that we got stuck with in that vicious sell down, guess what? We've been hitting these 100, 200% gainers, and we're just working out of those trades, putting fresh dry powder into our portfolios. That's kind of the way we played it. Other than that, there just wasn't a whole lot on the news front. The Brexit thing keeps rolling on, but it really didn't get a lot of play today. There was just a lot of nonsense news. Sears, Eddie Lampert's hedge fund, ESL, was able to win that bankruptcy bid, and Fossil watches had a great day today as Google agreed to buy their smartwatch techs for $40 million. Nice, huh? Must be nice. Anyways, let's do one more check on Netflix before we go. See, it's picked up a little bit. It's down about $8 now. It's picked up about $2 or $3 just while we've been talking. So let's see how this call works out on the guidance. You know how important the guidance are. We trade forward. We're not trading yesterday's guidance. We're trading tomorrow's. So let's see what the company has to say. I got a feeling that they're going to have some good news. Especially with, they put a big investment into this year, Netflix, and we knew that at the beginning of the year. They talked about it all the whole way through this, right? They were going to pump all that money into the exclusive programming and stuff, and it's worked to a certain extent, right? Like Ozarks and stuff like that. What is it? Stranger Things, or something like that. These have all been very good. Now, there's been a lot of misses in there too, so we'll see how this all shakes out, and we'll see what the company thinks going forward. As far as earnings, was there any other earnings there that we missed? I know there was a couple after the bell, but I guess CNBC only found the Netflix one important. That's the thing about CNBC. You guys take it with a grain of salt, though. You see how they fixate on things. I know there was other earnings out there today. Oh, American Express. So American Express reported. That is the last, right, of our big financials. Credit cards and a bunch of other small business loans and stuff in that company. They just slightly missed Wall Street expectations. So the stock's down about 2%, about 2% after hours. So they had great revenue. Their earnings per share, they blew out the earnings per share. The revenue was just a little bit light. But look, that's kind of the trend, right? These companies are coming a little bit light on their revenues. And that's why you had a lot the last couple of weeks. You had a lot of companies lowering their revenue projections. So let's call it a show. Tomorrow's Friday. Don't forget, traders, it's a 3-day weekend. So Martin Luther King Day on Monday. Big NFL championships are on Sunday to see who goes to the Super Bowl. Whoever wins these goes to the Super Bowl. A lot of good stuff to do out there. It's like I said, it's a nice 3-day weekend. Let's cap off a nice Friday tomorrow. We're sitting on this C trade that we're up about 280%. We're sitting on a Netflix trade. We're going to see how this shakes out after hours. After hours is not always indicative of how the stock's going to open and stuff, especially when the earnings report first comes out. Get that knee-jerk reaction and stuff. Now, that's not to say this could open up tomorrow down $10. But, it was just a little poke that we took at that, just $100 or so like that. And so, gang, let's call it a day. It was a great trading day. It was nice to get that trade news. And all you traders out there, take note. You see how just that little trade news pushed that market up in a heartbeat, 100 points. And that's just on a rumor and just some small talk, right? Imagine we get a trade deal and stuff. So you guys, we're still in a nice bullish pattern here on the stock market. We haven't it doesn't seem like we're challenging any heavy resistance yet. We're off those round numbers as far as the markets go, the overall markets. We're nice in that nice mid 24,000 range on the Dow Jones, about 24.3. And the NASDAQ has held that 7,000 really strong. It's starting to push 7,100, which is really nice, starting to push towards that high again. And the S&P 500. Now, look, if we do challenge the new highs, there's going to be some ebb and flow in here. We're only at 2,600 on the S&P. The highs are at 2,900, right? So that's a whole whopping 300 points. It's not going to go up 300 straight points. And if it does, it's going to have some ebb and flow. Trade smart, stay ahead of the trade, have a plan, okay, all you traders out there. So let's call it a show. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a great show. It was a great market day. It was a lot of fun. And the FAANG reported. So, that's always fun. One last check. Now it's down about $13. So you see, I just bouncing. Those crazies in the after-hour trading, man. It's so hard to tell what's going on with those guys. Anyways, so look, it's difficult enough to trade the normal hours. Okay, so let's just stay on that. So you guys have a great afternoon. We'll be back after the market tomorrow for our Aloha Friday show. Don't forget. It is a 3-day weekend, so make plans for having a nice rest, and we'll get back to it on Tuesday. We got some contracts to get out of tomorrow. Like I said, we're sitting on this nice C trade. We're up about 280%. See if we can get a little bit more out of that. Okay. So you guys have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow after the market. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.